The Magic Notebook.
Welcome to New Story in English. Today I will tell you a very beautiful short story. The name of the story is
The Magic Notebook.
Let's start reading this beautiful story.
There is a boy. His name is Daniel. Daniel is 15 years old. Daniel is tall, with black hair and brown eyes. Daniel is nice and popular. But Daniel has a problem. Daniel is not very intelligent. He is dumb. Daniel doesn't do well in school. Daniel has terrible grades in all his classes. A big part of the problem is that Daniel doesn't pay attention in class. He doesn't listen to his teachers. When his teachers teach the class, Daniel watches his phone. When Daniel should copy information in his notebook, he makes drawings on the paper. So Daniel doesn't learn anything. When Daniel takes a test, he doesn't know the information. Daniel doesn't know anything. Daniel's parents aren't happy. They want Daniel to graduate. So they say that Daniel needs to study every afternoon. They take Daniel's phone so he doesn't have distractions, and Daniel goes to his bedroom. In his room, Daniel takes out his notebook. Daniel doesn't study. Daniel doesn't have anything to study. He opens his notebook and looks at his drawings. Some drawings are excellent. Maybe Daniel could be an artist. After a time, Daniel closes his eyes and sleeps. In the morning, Daniel prepares for school. Daniel grabs his backpack. He puts things in his backpack for school. He puts a pencil and a sack with his lunch in the backpack. But there is a problem. Daniel doesn't have his notebook. Daniel needs the notebook. When Daniel writes in the notebook, his teachers think he is working. Daniel looks for the notebook in his bedroom, but it isn't there. Daniel looks for the notebook in the rest of the house, but it isn't there. Finally, Daniel sees a blue notebook. It isn't Daniel's notebook, but he doesn't have more time. He grabs the notebook and puts it in his backpack. Daniel's first class is math. The teacher writes some problems, and the students copy and solve the problems. The teacher looks at Daniel, so Daniel also copies the problems. When the teacher isn't looking at Daniel, Daniel looks at his phone. Daniel, the teacher says, what is the answer to number 1? Daniel responds. He doesn't know. Daniel looks at the first problem in the notebook. Daniel is surprised when he sees an answer next to the problem. Is it 13? Very good, the teacher says. Lupe, what do you have for number 2? Daniel doesn't listen to Lupe's answer. Daniel looks at the notebook. Daniel writes another problem in the notebook. After 2 seconds, the answer appears. It is magic. Daniel goes to all his classes. In his classes, he writes the problems or questions in the notebook. In all the classes, the answers simply appear in the notebook. Daniel is very excited. He has a magic notebook. At home, Daniel is not sad when it is time to study. He is excited. Daniel wants to write more problems and questions in the notebook, and he wants to see the answers. Daniel is curious. He wants to see all the information that the notebook knows. The next day at school, Daniel wants to copy information in the notebook. Daniel likes to see when the answer appears. All day, Daniel doesn't look at his phone. He only looks at the notebook. Daniel pays attention in class and listens to his teachers and writes information in the notebook. Sometimes Daniel asks for help from his teachers because he doesn't understand the answer that is in the magic notebook. His teachers are patient and explain a lot to Daniel. At the end of the week, Daniel has a test. Daniel is not worried. He has the magic notebook. Using notebooks on the test is not allowed, but Daniel has a plan. The day of the test, Daniel puts the notebook under the table. The teacher hands out the tests. Then the teacher walks in the classroom. When the teacher is not walking near Daniel, Daniel copies a question from the test in the notebook. Then he waits. Daniel looks at the notebook after 2 seconds, but the answer doesn't appear. Daniel is confused. What is the problem with the notebook? The teacher walks close to Daniel, so Daniel closes the notebook and looks at the test. He looks at the question that he copied in the notebook. Daniel looks at the question and he realizes that he knows the answer. Daniel doesn't need the answer from the notebook because he has the answer in his head. Daniel doesn't need the notebook. Daniel answers the question and looks at the next question. Daniel is about to copy the question in the magic notebook when he realizes that he knows the answer again. Daniel doesn't need the magic notebook. Daniel reads the other questions on the test. Daniel doesn't copy the questions in the magic notebook because he knows the answers. Daniel doesn't use the magic notebook on the whole test. On Monday, Daniel gets his test. He got an 85%. Daniel is very happy and he is proud. Daniel is not dumb. He is intelligent. Daniel doesn't need the magic notebook. He just needs to study a little and pay attention in class. Now, Daniel listens to his teachers. He copies information in his notebook and studies the information at home. The notebook checks Daniel's answers and marks the correct answers with a star. Daniel practices and studies, and now he does very well in school. He has good grades in all his classes. Daniel's parents and teachers are very happy too. Daniel realizes that he doesn't need to use a magic notebook. He just needs to use his head.
The end. Hope you have enjoyed the reading. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And find more fascinating and exciting stories from the description below the video.